Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I'm your host, Jem. Let's cue that intro.
Don't know how I'm here, and it's you that I want and need. Feel your heartbeat. Feel somewhere you're looking now. Feel your heartbeat. Feel somewhere you're looking.
Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are all well. Honestly, it's been hectic, isn't it? It's been an absolute hectic week. All of the ESL going on. What happened yesterday with Chelsea? We are going to delve into all of that as well. But we're going to start with the Chelsea game, the Chelsea and Brighton game, which was played yesterday. I will be releasing the link in the chat, so people will be able to get involved, have their say about whatever they'd like to do. ESL, whether it's the ESL, whether it's to do with the game yesterday, just get involved. People, please smash the like button before we move on. Please smash that like button. Can you please also share? Please share on your socials. Please subscribe here as well. We are like, I keep saying this and I keep repeating myself, but we are so close to the 1K mark now. We just need a little bit of support from you guys. If you can do that, then we'll appreciate it massively. Please hit that like button as well. Let's do this. Like I said, the link will be in the chat very soon as well. What I'm going to do to start with, I want to just quickly go through the boring game yesterday of Chelsea versus Brighton. I've got something I want to share with you guys, and it's on Sky Sports. Match stats. Obviously, it was Chelsea 0, Brighton 0. Possession based, it was 64.4% to Chelsea, 35% to Brighton. Brighton had more shots than Chelsea, total shots than Chelsea at the whole game. They had 11 shots. Chelsea only had 7. Obviously, only 4 of ours were on target, but then look at Brighton's. It was only 2 out of 11 that was off target. 2 for Chelsea, 4 for Brighton. Corners wise, look at that. Chelsea didn't have one corner, one blimming corner the whole game. Not one, not even one. 3 offsides for Chelsea. In terms of tackle percentage rate, theirs was a lot better than ours. Aerial duels 1. They were stronger than us in the air as well. Look at her, they were strong. 58% to Chelsea's 41%. Kepa only had to make 2 saves compared to their goalie, which surprises me because I felt like we did fuck all yesterday. I don't know about what you guys thought. 8 fouls committed as well from Chelsea, of 9 of Brighton. And in terms of red cards, obviously they got the 1 red card right at the end. Chelsea got 2 yellows, and we won the same fouls as well. It was, don't know what COVID just popped up, but yeah, it was a hard game to watch, wasn't it, people? It was a game that really seemed to be affected by the ESL, what was going on with the ESL at the time as well. Obviously, prior to people actually being able to, the players being able to get into the ground, you had our own fans blocking the coach coming in. It took Peter Cech, as we see, to come out and actually have to get involved, beg the people to let the truck go through. I know a couple of our own man like Monster was down there. Lambs was there as well. I don't know if you've got Lambs on Instagram, but if you ain't follow her, go and check out her videos as well. You'll see on there with her. She will be joining us at one point, so it'd be good to get an insight from her about the whole ESL and what happened yesterday. I know man like Fardo was there as well. Let's go through some of these chats quickly. Big up to JB. I hope you're well. Big up to Ads as well. Obviously, Ads he's been a little bit ill, so he actually had some time out. He had to have a bit of an operation at the time. We're going to get to that. JP Divesh is in the house. Big up to you, my man. Big up to Marcus. Big up to Chris Welsh as well, who's in the house. And you're right, Chris. The top 4 races actually on open. It's mad. And Chelsea had the opportunity yesterday. They had the opportunity yesterday to push forward, to excel, to go third. I know Leicester would have had a game in hand. Go third, but have a 2-point gap from them to West Ham, a 5 or 4-point gap to Liverpool. Going into the West Ham game on Saturday, which is a massive game. Let's be serious. It's a massive game. It's a game that Chelsea are going to have to now win. Let's be serious. I know we're sitting 4th, but we're on the same points as them, and they're in good form. we kind of shot ourselves in the foot yesterday, I feel, again, and it's not the first time we've done that this season. We've done that consistently throughout the season as well. So it is slightly painful that is the case. Big up to DJ Savjay, who's in the house. Yeah, I agree. Our lowest shots on target since Tuchel has become manager. Very true. Josh is here as well. Tuchel the dinosaur dropping points for Graham Potter. Yeah, but Josh, worry about your own team, mate. Your team are not doing exactly any better, mate. Big up to you, Gio. Hope you will. Hope AC Milan pulled out the ESL, bro. AC Milan pulled out the ESL. I don't know if you want to get involved a bit later on, but like I said, the link will be in the chat for you guys to have your say. What we're going to do to start with quickly is we're going to quickly go through the player ratings. I'm going to give my thoughts and what I think the ratings were for yesterday's game. We'll be short and quick through it as well. I want to get the link out in the chat for you guys to get involved anyway. So let's do this. Surprisingly, no Mendy in goal, and it was Kepa, wasn't it? It was Kepa that started. So I think I'm going to have to add Kepa in there. Ignore my dogs if you can hear them because they're just so annoying. So annoying, people. Kepa's performance. Now, you let me know out of 10 what you think how Kepa performed. For me personally, the guy didn't have much to do. He's starting because we know that his market value at the moment is capped very low. We're trying to get some decent decent form out of him so that hopefully in the summer, someone will be coming knocking on that door to take him away from our club, which is what I'm hoping for anyway. So we'll have to see what happens. For me, Kepa done pretty well. Done everything basic, if that makes sense. He didn't put a foot wrong, really. He made saves when he had to. I think he had a mid-average game because he didn't have much to do. So I would give Kepa a 5, maybe a 6. Tell me what you would do, guys. Tell me what you would give Kepa on his performance yesterday. Big up to you, Chelsea fan. And big up to DJ Savjay, who says Lamb's monster, and every Chelsea fan that turned up for the protest yesterday as well. Big up to him. Divesh has given him a 7. 6 for Kepa from DJ Savjay as well. Daniel's in the house. Big up to him. He says won a Champions League, 1 trophies. That's they wished Arsenal won. Yeah, that's true. He gives him a 7 as well. Yeah, I think Kepa didn't have much to do. I'm going to say 5, guys, on this one. We're going to move on short and swiftly, and we're going to move on to Kurt Zouma. Now, he played an okay game, other than when he lost the ball, when he got pressured by about 3 or 4 Brighton players. Is Zouma comfortable in a back 3? Probably not as much as the other defenders that we currently have at the moment. Would I start him? Would I start him in the long run? Probably not. I think Thiago Silva has to play in these games in Champions Leagues. I think it's important that experience is involved. I don't even like seeing Christensen as right centre back. I don't know what you guys think about that. In the chat, let me know. Christensen as right centre back. What's your thoughts on that? But in terms of the game yesterday, I thought Zouma again had an average game. Didn't do too much. I'm going to give him personally a 5.5. I don't think he was great. I don't think he was poo. He made that one minor mistake. But again, people might go, oh, let's see, this is what we talk about Zouma. He got shut down by about 4 or 5 players. And there was no one around him moving. No one, literally, no one around him moving. It was pretty poor. Let's be serious. It's pretty poor. Divesh says he's giving him a 5. Yeah, I agree, Divesh. I think a 5, maybe 6 at a push. Daniel says a 5 as well. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest of performances from all of us, though. Let's be serious. They were all pretty poor. There was no real standout. Let's move on. And let's move on to a man. I just saw him like Rudiger. How did Rudiger play yesterday? Rudiger was actually okay. I actually think he was the best out of the back 3 because when he did get the ball, yeah, he drove with the ball. How many times did Rudiger pick the ball up and make a direct run directly towards the opposition to try and open space, drag players out of position? Now, how many times did he do that throughout the game? He done that quite a lot. And that was because the people in front of him, the midfield in front of him, and the front 3 in front of him were not moving. No one was moving in front of him. So you know, he was having to try and commit in terms of come out of his position and try and drag some players out so that we can make some space. Rudiger for me was a 6.57. Seven's a good shout. You know, Divesh says here 7. Marcus says 7 as well. Guys, before we move forward, please can we smash that like button, and please can you share on your socials? Help us try and get this up to 30 likes as well, please. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. And also subscribe. Please subscribe. Divish 7. Daniel 6. DJ Savjay says Rudiger 7. He does. Sometimes he does. He gets a bit too overexcited, and he goes on one of them mad runs through the middle, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? But it's funny. It's funny. I'll give him that. But yeah, I'd give Rudiger a 7. I thought Rudiger was okay, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie. Let's move on to man like Krusty the Blimmin' Clown. Back in today. Obviously, Thiago Silva picked up a back injury originally. Remember, guys, like I said, I will be releasing the link in the chat very soon, and we will be talking about the live update on the ESL as well. Yeah, Krusty. I thought it was a 5. I don't think it was any better than Zuma. I don't like him in that position. Now, I know everyone says his distribution is very good, but I just struggle to watch Christensen play sometimes. Like, he's been playing well under Tuchel, don't get me wrong. But other than him sitting in the middle of the back three, I don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it, you know. He played okay, don't get me wrong. He didn't do much wrong here and there, but again, no one really performed. No one really stood out. So I'd give Krusty a 5. And I'm going to make it very clear. He should be benched, and Thiago Silva, when he's fit, should be coming in and starting in the bigger games. Real Madrid away when we play them next week. The games that we've got riling up at the end, if Thiago Silva's fit, he should be playing them. We've got the Arsenals to play, the Tottenhams to play, I think. Not the Tottenhams, the Arsenals, we also got Liverpool's, people like that. I can't remember exactly, but we've got some hard games to play left with that. So 5 for Christensen is what DJ Savjay says. 5 for Daniel. Krusty's 5, says Divesh. 5. Marcus says Christensen is an example of a blessing in disguise in that anytime he plays, we get a clean sheet. Yeah, I get that to a degree. Let's be serious. I still don't think he's good enough consistently in the long term for Chelsea. I mean, I don't mind having him in a team, but is he a starter? Is he someone that can cement his place in the team? Can he help Chelsea? Can he help us? Can he help Chelsea lead us to a... sorry, guys, I have to get some water. Can he help Chelsea to a Premier League? Is he good enough to help get Chelsea to a Premier League, is my question on that one. I don't know. That's my issue. But yeah, Dujon's in the house. Big up to you as well. Like I said, the link will be in the chat very, very soon. I'm just going to fly through these player ratings. Right. Who played? Oh, Snail played, didn't he? The Snail played, people. I know who you know who I'm talking about. Where is he? I don't even think he's on here because I had to delete his name because he hasn't been playing for so long. But I'm talking about Marcus Alonso. Man, this guy is painful to watch, isn't it? Honestly, like, he needs to go. Like, I'm not even joking. He actually needs to go. Like, he's so slow. If the ball don't go to him, it's like, it's painful watching him trying to chase a ball. When he's got the ball, he's like, you can predict what he's going to do because he's so slow. He goes like sideways and you know he's going to make that pass. He's so predictable. You know, if you knock a ball in front of him and ask him to run onto it, you might as well forget it. He ain't catching that ball. He's just not good enough, man. He generally is just not good enough. Like he made it harder for us yesterday because he's so slow. He's just not good enough for this club, and he's another one that needs to leave our football club at the end of the season. We need to get rid of these players, man. Chilwell, yes, Chilwell's slowly starting to step up. You know, Chilwell, if he's fit, should be coming in. Problem we got is Chilwell does get injured. He will get injured throughout seasons. He has in his past. If you look at his career in general, he always picks up an injury. So we do need a decent replacement. Marcus Alonso is not the replacement for Chilwell. It's just not good enough. Like, he just isn't. And I think it's an area we should look at. I know we've got Emerson, but Emerson doesn't seem to be favoured under Tuchel. So just get rid of both of them, get a bit of money, go and buy not someone that's going to start, but someone that's comfortable to maybe compete with Chilwell, keep him on his toes, and go from there. Dujon says Alonso's a 0.5. Alonso is better than. Oh, leave it out, mate. Leave it out. 3. I'm going to give him a 3, 2, whatever you want to give him. He just was not good enough, guys. He just was not good enough. You can have him, though. Josh, you can have him at Arsenal, mate. Give us 25, 30 mil. You like taking players off us. Take him from us. Give us our money, and we'll go and buy a decent replacement. I ain't scared of playing against Marcos Alonso if he's at Arsenal. Are you, people in the chat? Are you scared of playing against Marcos Alonso in the chat? Let me know. And people, come on. Let's get these likes up. Yeah, we're not even at 20 likes yet. Let's do it. Let's get up to 20 likes, people, please. Yeah, he's just pony, isn't he? He's just pony. Let's move on anyway. Let's go on to the other side. Reece James. I don't think he was that great yesterday. I don't know what you guys thought. I just think like he's learning the role well, and there's been games, especially recently, where he's performed at a decent level. So the thing with Reece James is, when you're playing against a team, when you're struggling on the wings and you need someone to pick the ball up and be direct, yeah, then I'd like to have a Callum Hudson-Odoi on. Now I know he did come on and he didn't really make much impact. Sometimes I just think when we're at home specifically, that if teams are going to pressure us, that it would be better to have like a Cho that can actually take the ball, take a player on, open some space, whip the ball in, and give us opportunities. Because yesterday, I feel like we was just too predictable, too slow, too predictable, too sideways, backwards bollocks. Like it was just wasn't good enough. And yeah, I know the ESL might have been in their minds, fair enough. But we've dropped a couple of these performances. I know people again are going to say, "Oh, we haven't dropped these kind of performances under Tuchel." I get that. We haven't dropped these type of performances under Tuchel. That's not the case. But my point is this. In certain games like yesterday, where we're going to move the ball slow, we're not dominating, we can't put two passes together. Bring on people like Cho, who will take the ball and drive and open up space, which means that players that are playing off him up front can run off him and he can set them up. Reece James yesterday, for me, had a bar average game. I just thought he'd done a job, but he didn't really give us anything moving forward. Even his customer score, even when he got down there, he couldn't clear the first man. So for me, I'm going to give Reece James a 4. Yes, I thought it was poor. Lambs has joined us now. Lambs, how are you?
Hey, yeah, I'm not doing too bad, Yeah, obviously, I was at the protest yesterday, so that was good. We managed to achieve our purpose. So
yeah, well done to that. Lambs, like I said before you come on, I told everyone that you was there, pushing the decision to be made, and even Peter Check. We are going to jump into the ESL, by the way. I just want to fly through these player ratings because I know it was quite a dead boring game. So let's get through that. We could talk about the ESL. Lambs is going to let us know how it all went because I want to hear from Lambs. I want to know what happened, how it was, etc. And then we will be putting the link in the chat as well. You guys can come in and get involved and have your say as well. But Lambs, Reece James, did you watch the game?
Yeah, I missed the first half. I saw like some bobs of it as I was kind of like on my way home, but I get back in time for the second half. But I heard the first half was kind of dead anyway, and I caught the highlights anyway. And yeah, everybody was pretty awful, and there was a dead game. I feel like mentality, everything was kind of maybe like shaken because of obviously the news, everything that's come out. He rotated the squad a little bit as well, but I still think that was a decent enough squad to beat Brighton. I think as well. But Reece James, I felt like some of those balls that he was putting in, they could have been a little bit more better. Could have been a little bit. It's just that final ball once again. He was like making those runs here and there. Again, I still feel like he is defensively minded. Maybe it would have probably been a good idea to give him some minutes in this game, to be honest. So I would agree with you. I'd give him a 4.
Yeah. Jim, I can hear you twice. Can you hear me twice, people?
I think it's okay itself. Okay, like I that a little bit earlier. Like there was a slight echo, but it's fine. I think.
Cool. Ads is okay, actually. I spoke to him last night. He's recovering well. He will be back with us soon, but at the moment he needs a bit of time out to recover. So we've got to give him that to be able to do. Ads is still in hospital, I believe so, from what I understand as well, Prince. Yeah. Harris, you asked me a question. Am I worried about our top four? I feel like it was 2 points drop yesterday. I know there was a lot of talk around the ESL, and I can understand that, and it was in the players' minds. But again, we had the opportunity to go 2 points clear of West Ham, playing West Ham on Saturday, where we could have beat them and then been 5 points away from them. Now we're on the same points of them, sitting in fourth, and they'll have to go all the way to not all the way because it's down the road for us, but go and play them in their backyard and beat them. We have to go and win this now. We've put pressure on ourselves, so it is what it is. Let's move on. Let's get through this quickly. All right, so we're going to move on to Mason Mount, and I'll quickly just give my thoughts on it. I thought he was poor yesterday. I thought he was really poor. He couldn't hold the ball. He was losing the ball. He kept going sideways, backwards. I felt like with Mason Mount, he was limited. Like I feel like he just didn't know when to go, when to not, what to do. Sometimes when he did get the ball, I think he's just better with Mason Mount. He's better when he's got the freedom, not when he's being told that he can only go up to a certain part of the field because he has to cover. And yesterday he just looked. He couldn't even pass at some points. He was losing it. He was getting shifted off the ball. And it just didn't look comfortable. And I don't want to see him in that position, really. Especially against teams that are going to be in your face and shutting you down, like they were. They were aggressive, Brighton, yesterday. But I'd give Mason Mount a 4, a 3, maybe. Johnny, if you're listening, I'm sorry, mate. But he was poor. He was poor yesterday. Lambs, what was your thoughts then?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And just to kind of echo on your point about Mason Mount, like, I think it's clear to see that he just isn't a versatile player. He's not that versatile player that everybody makes him out to be. Oh, he can play here, he can play there, he can play everywhere. No, he's not that guy. He is not Bukayo Saka. He cannot do that. We've seen him on the wing now. It doesn't work. We've seen him in the pivot position. It doesn't work, If you're going to put him in a centre-back position, it's probably definitely not going to work. You're going to play him up as a lone striker. It's probably not going to work. We know what Mason Mount's position is. Let the guy grow and develop and try and make that position his own. Do you know what I mean? Like, stop trying to... I don't understand why Billy Gilmore wasn't used against Brighton. I feel like if that's the game to kind of give him minutes, especially with injured, that was the time, that was the option, like you said, keeping in mind we had that the West Ham game coming up. But I don't know, again, the decision-making, was it the mentality? But Mason Mount is not that versatile player that everybody makes him out to be. And it's just clear to see. So the hype with him just needs to stop and it needs to calm down because he was poor yesterday. He was terrible. I'd give him a 3.5 and that's being generous because we didn't lose.
Yeah, you heard it there, people. Lambs has given him a 3.5. Before we move forward, please smash that like button. Please. Let's try and get to 30 likes as quickly as possible. There's nearly 20 plus of you here, which we appreciate as always. I know a lot of you guys must be working and watching us from wherever you are. I appreciate that. Please subscribe if you're new as well. Please subscribe if you're new. But Mason Mount was poor. He was bar average. I know people were already getting a bit upset in the chat saying, well, he's our best player. Yeah, but he wasn't yesterday. He was poor. And it's not that the point of he's got to have a good game all time because he's not going to. He's going to have bad games. And I accept that. You know what I mean? Everyone does. I don't know what...
Mbappe, Neymar, they have bad games too. Come on.
Everyone has bad games. Everyone has bad games. Us criticising Mason Mount doesn't mean that me and Lambs think he's a bad player now. It just means that he had a bad game. Do you know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. Everybody had a terrible game yesterday. Like, it's not just Mason Mount. Trust me.
Exactly. I don't know what Mason Mount's best position is, to be honest. Maybe attacking midfield. I'm not sure. I think he's better as an attacking midfielder, but given the freedom of the free role, I think even when he was pressing high up against the defence, he looked free, like being able to make runs behind the back and stuff. He looked good.
Even as a box-to-box midfielder, that could work as well with him as well, I think, Mason Mount. Exactly
that. We're going to move on to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jorginho. Do I blame him yesterday? No. I mean, he did lose the ball a couple of times. Did he try and move the ball? Did he try and move the ball forward? He was trying, but to be fair to him, there was just nothing moving in front of him. So a lot of the times when he did get the ball, it was like, "What am I doing?" He was going sideways, backwards again because he was struggling. But he got caught out. He got caught out specifically when we decided to play him on his own, like a Kante in a DM, and push Mason Mount further up the pitch. And then there was just gaps everywhere. But then that's when Welbeck started hitting the post. They nearly scored about 2 or 3 times, all because we had no pace, someone that can cover the ground, win the ball. And this is why I keep saying to you, if Jorginho hasn't got someone playing next to him, he's weak. He's just not good enough. I keep saying this to people. He's just not good enough on his own. So as long as we're playing someone next to him, cool. But if we're not going to play someone next to him, like we did yesterday, we will get found out and people will score against us, especially teams that are more potent in front of goal. He was a 3.54. Again, he wasn't great or he wasn't poor, but he just wasn't, I don't know, he was more bad than he was good for me, to be honest. But Lambs, what would you say?
Well, listen, it all went to hell when we decided to give this guy the captain's armband, didn't we? This guy, again, I'm not going to go into him too much because everybody was terrible, but it's clear. It's clear what a system player this guy is. We know what system he works and thrives best in. And if you take him out of that and try and play him in a different kind of system that doesn't suit him at all, he's going to get caught out. And he did. Bissouma was running rings around this guy in midfield. It was embarrassing to watch at times. I was literally just sitting there like, oh my God, Brighton are better than us. Brighton are better than us. Like, Brighton. And they were better than us. Let's not lie. They hit the
they were.
Bar and the post as well during the game. Like, if I have to say, like, if you have to give the man of the match to anybody in our Chelsea squad, I'd give it to Kepa, man. Kepa was the only one who actually kind of stepped up. He saved us in the end, kind of there as well. So, yeah, like the fact that, like, don't get me wrong, like I love Bissouma. I think he's a fantastic player, but Jorginho, you shouldn't be letting Bissouma get the better of you, and he was. So I'll give him a 3.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was just bar average, poor. To be honest, it just wasn't good enough. Velv is saying, let's talk about Mason Mount. Where's Johnny? I mean, look, calm down, Velv. He's allowed to have one bad game, mate. Yeah, you ain't got any point here. But the link will be in the chat soon. So once we've gone through this, we'll throw the link in the chat. We'll talk about the ESL, the update from there. And we've seen that more teams have pulled out today as well, especially the Italian teams. Atletico Madrid recently have just pulled out as well on this one. So it seems to be just going into shambles, but we will be getting to that very soon. Should we move on? Pulisic. I thought he struggled yesterday, to be honest. I mean, he tried. I mean, they were shutting him down massively. Every time he got the ball, they were just in his face. There was no, there's no one running off him. It just didn't work for the front three yesterday. All 3 of them. I just feel like they struggled to really, the chemistry there, which is showing that we're still a work in progress. I feel like you can see that clearly, that we're still trying to get to know each other, understand each other, make the right runs. Pulisic yesterday for me was again another 3-4. Didn't do anything. And yeah, there's not much more to say for me, Lambs. What about you?
Yeah, at times I forgot he was even on the pitch. Like, he was he wasn't kind of the Pulisic that's been turning up in, say, the last couple of games where he was, he scored a couple of goals. He was like making those runs, and it just wasn't really kind of going anywhere. Like, Brighton were drilled very, very well yesterday. They just, Graham Potter, he told his team what to do, and they knew what to do, and they did it very well. So credit to them. They pretty much shut us down, shut him down, closed him down very, very well. Barely non-existent. I'll give him a 3 as well.
Yep, I agree with that one. We're going to move on to man like Ziyech. I'm going to be short and sweet with him as well. I just thought he was losing the ball again. He just struggles at the moment with the Premier League. I don't know why. He just really can't get used to the pace of it. Maybe he needs a season like they all do just to get used to it. Maybe next season will be the big questions of him. But to be honest, I would give him a 3 as well. I just thought he was poor. What about you?
2.
Terrible.
I don't think I need to say much. He's terrible. terrible. It almost seems like those recent performances, where we're seeing, oh, maybe he's starting to get a little bit better. It's kind of like he just completely reverted back to that. And again, I don't know if it was the mentality, everything that was happening before, because obviously during the protests, the game had to be delayed because, there was difficulties getting the teams in because the people blocking the buses and stuff. So I don't know, the news of everything coming out in such a short amount of time, maybe that rattled them, especially like the Big 16. We saw Liverpool struggle on Monday against Leeds as well. So I'm really not too sure, but he was terrible, absolutely terrible. So yeah, shall give him a 2.
Havertz, for me, I'm going to be short and sweet with him as well. He struggled yesterday, and I don't know whether it was because he didn't really have much support, to be honest. Even when he was trying to come he was coming too deep. That was what was annoying me yesterday. He had to come so deep to get the ball because no one that was playing further behind him could pick the balls or make. I keep saying this: make runs. We don't find them. We just don't. We just. Some days we'll do it. Some days we don't. And it was just one of the days where we just didn't want to play balls behind the defence. Brighton were pressuring us across the pitch, man marking us. So every individual player that got the ball, they were on them. So what do you do when they're doing that? Go the other way. Why are you coming towards the ball? Go the other way. Get past the defence and play a long ball over the top. The space is there for you to run into. And that's why when Timo Werner come on, I felt like we slowly started to do that a little bit more. It wasn't any better, don't get me wrong, but it opened it up a little bit more in that sense. But for Havertz, I mean, he was a 3.
Score, innit?
Yeah, 3 for me, Havertz. What about you, Lambs?
Yeah, arguably should have scored. Should be taking these chances. Can't really be affording to miss these chances. We know what Brighton are like. That I really admire them for the fact that they play great football. But the issue that they have and the reason why they're in the position that they are is because they just keep on missing chances. The chances that they get and develop and create, and the way that they miss them is criminal at times, honestly. So
not good enough.
Most of them, they were really, really shut down. They were really shut down. Our attacking 3, Pulisic, Havertz, what's the other one?
Yeah.
Did you see what I mean? I gave them the lowest rating for a reason. It was like they were not effective at all. It was just poor. It really was.
It was definitely something not to really like. I know ESL took over it and all fair enough, but it's definitely one of them games where you just have to just pull it under the carpet. But it really pissed me off a bit. I know a lot of fans yesterday were just using the excuse, but it was a good day because it was a good day. Don't get me wrong, it was massive what happened yesterday, but the players got affected by it. Yeah, the players got affected by it, and that's what annoyed me.
Yeah,
more so because people keep forgetting, right? We are still fighting for the Champions League. Relevant to us coming out of the ESL, which was confirmed before the game, that Chelsea, that you guys down there managed to get them to agree to that and have to release the statement to keep us all happy. The fact that you've done that, wicked. But then we had a game that we needed to win. We're still fighting for a position. If Champions League's still going on, we need to get into that position. This is an important game. That game yesterday was a big game. I keep saying it. It was a big game. Yeah, and we flopped it.
It was a chance to go third, Jem.
We flopped it.
Everybody else was dropping points over the weekend. We had our FA Cup semi-final to focus on. Yes, and we got over that hurdle. Great, fantastic. But now this was, another opportunity to take advantage of. And yes, we're back in the top 4, but we have literally so many teams still breathing down our neck. So it's not secure. We had the chance, like you said, we could have gone 5 points clear after the weekend. So...
Yeah. It was just overall bad game. I thought Tuchel made too many individual changes as well, which just didn't work for us as well. It didn't work for us. But people, please smash that like button. We're nearly at 30 likes. Let's go. Let's get to there. I'm going to release the link to you guys anytime soon now. Lambs is going to quickly... Well, Lambs, let's talk about the ESL, yeah? Let's talk about your experiences yesterday, and then we'll go through obviously the updates from today and where we stand with it as well, so that everyone's understands where we are with it. But yeah, what happened yesterday? Tell us, how did it all go?
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, like with any protest, like with any angry fans, you've always got to be careful. There's always going to be like an element of danger. But, like when I got there, I think maybe I got there just after 6, And I think I left maybe just before 8 p.m. So that's why I missed like the first half, because I was kind of on my way back from West London to like the North London area. But I mean, when I got there, literally where the hotel was, so the entrance, the Millennium Hotel entrance, that entrance of Stamford Bridge, like everybody was kind of like gathered down around there, like where the bus was, you know, going to come in, the team bus was going to come in. But, you know, there was already so many people. There was TV crews, like fan channels, like just cameras left, right, and center. There was like TalkSport there as well. There was like BBC. There was just literally like everyone. It was just crazy. There was police fans. You know, they're obviously to control the crowds. And obviously there was a point where, you know, like you said, the team bus was coming in, and as it was coming in, I think I was kind of like on the outskirts nearby where the pub was, so on that kind of corner, so a little bit kind of on the sides, because I don't want to be like too inside, otherwise I'd get crushed, you know. So safety first and stuff, and also so I can get kind of like a better view, see what's going on, if people were moving, like kind of follow where that was going. So I think at that point, obviously, Peter Cech had to come out, because the players were kind of like stranded on the bus, and obviously on the other side of the road, just the normal buses from like TfL and stuff, and cars and stuff were stopped in traffic as well. So they kind of had to like slowly, with the help of the police, start pulling out and kind of circle back. So, you know, we did cause a ripple. We caused a massive ripple. Peter Cech had to come and say, you know, speak to the fans and say, look, we agree with you, this, that, and the other, but we do need you guys to kind of just like move just a little bit further down the road so the team buses can kind of get in. So when you're kind of like players and you're trapped on the bus for like 45 minutes, there's a bunch of like angry fans outside, it can be unsettling, it can cause stress. And I think that's probably why the performances were how they were. But, you know, it was great. I ran into Monster, ran into Fatou a little bit later as well. When we heard the news that Chelsea were pulling out as well, and like you can see on my Instagram story, everybody just went mental, like beer cans were just being flown around and bits and whatever. So you had to be careful, because some of them were like hitting people in the face. But it was like the elation and the fans, like you can see it really meant a lot. And then all the other news trickling through about Manchester City, possible reports about Manchester United and Barcelona feeling the pressure as well. And to think that we started this knowing that, you know, if nothing was done after our protest, these other fans were going to come out and do the same thing and protest, and you know, we'd eventually join forces. We'd eventually have to join forces to make our voices heard. And if we can cause this much of a ripple as just a singular fan base, a Chelsea fan base, think of what fan base, United fan base, Spurs, Arsenal, City, Liverpool can do if they all kind of came together for that as well. So yeah, man, it was good. It was good because we achieved our purpose, and it meant that we were heard. It means that our voices, our opinions still count as well. So yeah, man, a great historical moment in football.
Well, the news an hour ago is that Schalke players attacked with eggs by their fans after Bundesliga relegation. That's something completely separate. But yeah, the Schalke players got completely done over. But also, Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan have withdrawn from the European Super League plans. That goes along with all 6 English teams. I don't know who's left in there now. Who's left? I don't think there is much. Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the Spanish team yet to be announced.
Yeah.
As we speak, Sergio Perez is actually, I believe, in an interview at the moment. I see St. Cup saying in an interview talking about it. I think he kind of lighted the fire in a lot of people, to be fair, because when he came out with that interview and the way he was talking about things and stuff, like everyone just got absolutely high rated from it. And since that, it's stemmed to this. But Chelsea, just remember this, people, Chelsea Football Club were the fans that were down there were the ones that made the first action, were the ones that made the first leap against Sergio Perez, against the ESL League as an whole. And after that, Man City followed, I believe, straight after Man United. Everyone's stemmed after that, because let's be serious. I know Arsenal were planning a protest themselves, actually.
They
to
still
go
are
down there.
still going ahead. So I think the United and Arsenal protests are still going ahead because I think obviously they've been against their board for years now. They can see the corruption, and obviously they know that their board, their owners had a huge part in coming together, and they were all for the Super League because it was just a way for them to kind of capitalize off the club more and take more and more money out of their club, and they just weren't having it because they were seeing the reputations of their club decline. So I completely understand why they want to do their protests. But as for us in City, we were protesting the Super League because we don't need to be in this. You know, our owners actually care about the club. So, and I respect them because the Cronkies do need to go, the Glazers do need to go, but, you know, and good luck to them. I really hope that they get what they want.
Yeah, people, the link is in the chat. So come in and have your say. Also, please, let's get to 30 likes, please. And please subscribe if you're new here as well. It would be much appreciated. Big up to CFC Carefree. Yes, respect to Roman as well. He pulled out. He did. However, there is still an element that people believe that they should still be punished for the actions that they made in the first place. They actually committed to something without actually really deep in it and understanding the consequences of doing so. And so in that sense, for me, you know, they should still get fined. If I was whoever, because they sign contracts, they actually sign contracts to agree to this. So if they're breaking the contracts, I know their legal teams are involved in looking into this, but if they're going to break contracts, then they should be fined, because I'd fine them. I would. If I was the ESL and I'd created this thing and they'd all agree to it now, because there's a big uproar, they decide to kick it out, I'd be like, well, you know, you're the ones that pushed forward with this. You're the ones that agreed to this with us. You know, I would punish them, and then it would make them think again to do something like that. You know, it's like, I know it sounds silly, but you know, like when you got a kid and he does something and you punish him. Yeah, you punish him because you know he knows he done what he did was wrong, but then he thinks about it and he never does it again. It's the same. It's the same thing. But Velv is with us. Velv, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. Not bad. What is it you'd like to say, man?
Yeah, it's good to see football back. Like a bit of normality. You still have the UEFA dickheads out there still controlling the football world. But we moved. The FSG, Cronkies, Glazers, them man need to go. Honestly, like, did you see a thing? John Henry's apology.
Yeah.
I didn't even believe it at all. I just watched it. Like, the first thing that he said, "Your club." I'm like, nah, I know what you're saying. Get out of our club. Like, honestly, you did this to our fans, and you almost pushed to a limit where Bill Shankly's grandson asked you to remove the statue outside of Anfield. So this
Wow.
is what you've done to our club, innit? So I hope there's a protest going on. I heard Indiana go on the terrace and say United and Liverpool should unite together on the day we play them, so we could get these owners out of our club. And I feel like, yeah, we should do that because these owners are ruining football. They only care about the money.
Yeah, I mean, they are like local rivals as well. And I know for a fact there is an Arsenal protest going on this Friday. There's one for United going on this Saturday as well, because, yeah, and like you said, if they don't listen, joining forces just makes the message louder and more clearer and harder to ignore as well, because it means that you've really just gone a step too far with the fans. And I do understand the frustrations because, like you said, these owners collectively have something in common where they don't really invest too much in the club, or they're not really willing to invest. They don't really care because they don't really understand the game. So you've watched the reputation of these clubs fluctuate and decline over the years, whereas Chelsea and City kind of keep growing, keep getting stronger, keep maintaining that competitive level because we have owners and the board who actually care about the club, who actually know about football and get the correct personnel and people inside the club. So I do understand. This protest, and yeah, it's a long time coming. Maybe this is what's needed. Maybe new laws need to be put in place where fans need to have that 51% ownership, so they get to have that say, so they can stop things happening with their club that they don't want collectively. Do you know what I mean? And maybe something like this needs to start being spoken about you know, these conversations need to start happening. We need to start looking into the UEFA corruption, the FIFA corruption, you know, the rife racism that's been in this game since the beginning of time. And, you know, the whole issue with the selfish owners and capitalist elitism, and making sure the fans actually have a majority share and say in what happens to their club.
Yeah, I agree. Sam Jovi says trying to punish the clubs would have actually justified why they should have moved ahead with the ESL. UEFA aren't saints. After what they said to Chelsea at 09 UCL semi, they have no moral high ground. And I get that. Don't get me wrong. It does make sense. And the only reason the UEFA reacted so quickly is because it was playing with their pockets. I've never seen them move so quick. In the past, you don't even hear from them when there's an allegation or something. But with this situation, they were like that. No, they were like thunder. So it just shows, doesn't it, in many ways. But JB's joined us. JB, how you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
No
Yeah,
worries,
I
man.
completely agree with you guys and what Valve said as well with these American owners. It's just venture capitalism, isn't it? Like they wanted this European Super League just to make more money, as if they don't have enough already. And they were completely like disregarding the traditions and like all these years of tradition and history that these clubs have, and just to like suddenly make another competition and then get us in all this hot water it's going to be like a totally bad idea. And I want to just give credit to all the Chelsea fans that went to the protest and were making a stand as well. I think that was really good to see, and it just completely shows that football is nothing without the fans. Football is created for the fans, and these owners, they need to remember one thing, and they need to completely understand that football's for the fans, and they shouldn't ignore us. Because without the fans, like, what is football? It's absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And they've tried to do this during a pandemic when none of the fans have been able to be at the ground. Because if the fans were in the stadiums, they wouldn't allow this to happen.
Yeah.
They've just, and I'm
They
just so
seized the
glad that it's all,
opportunity.
yeah. I'm just so glad it's all falling apart now, and that slowly all the clubs are withdrawing from the Super League.
Yeah.
Because it would have completely destroyed football. And can you imagine like Real Madrid versus Chelsea like 5 times a year? Not even in London, like playing it in Sydney or in Abu Dhabi, where like most of the English fans or whatever, like the season ticket holders, can't even go to the games, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And Florentino Perez as well, he was making all these ridiculous statements, like he said 16 to 24-year-olds don't even watch football, which I think is just shows like how out of touch he is. Like he has no clue what's really going on. And it's just these greedy owners, like they need to be forced out of the club.
But that is exactly what it is, Jay. It's just it was all money driven. There was no real meaning behind or structure behind the actual league itself. When you think of it as that, you know, there's no real competition other than if 13 or 15 teams are going to have to fight to get to first. Then that's it. There's no relegations. There's no second, third,
no
fourth.
relegation.
Do you know
what
I
I
mean?
Makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. There's no competition. There's like regardless of your performance, you still play in that league every year. It's all based on the American model, the American, like the NBA, the NFL, where there's no relegation system, none of that. And it's just to guarantee that you make loads of money each season, like season upon season, you make loads of money. Because a lot of these clubs like Barcelona and Manchester United, Liverpool, like their owners were thinking, like, with this European Super League, we'll be able to like cash in, make loads of money, and like that's like a primary objective is to maximize our revenues and just to pay off all the debt that we have as Glazers. Like before they acquired Manchester United, they had so much debt, they borrowed all this money, and then as soon as they gained ownership of Manchester United, all that debt Manchester United basically got hold of. And so yeah, it's just been it's an absolute farce, really. And one other thing I just want to say is that I'm really happy Ed Woodward has resigned as well, because I think he's been absolutely shambolic. he's just been absolutely awful, and he's the one that brokered the deal, which helped the Glazers gain ownership of Manchester United. So he's the reason that we're in a lot of this mess as well. And I'm just really ashamed of the owners, because like the Glazers, they were one of the ringleaders for this European Super League.
Yeah.
So I just hope the Glazers leave very soon.
I bet you do, and that's one thing Man United fans can be happy about from all of this, is that Ed Woodward has officially he's resigning, but he's not leaving till the end of 2021, is he? To be fair, so he will be there till the end of 2021. There's talks about Edwin van der Sar potentially coming in. Does that make you feel a bit better about it, Jay? Is that who you would want? Or
because he's at Ajax at the moment, isn't he? He's CEO of Ajax.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would I guess fill me with a bit more optimism.
Yeah.
I think he's doing quite a good job at the moment at Ajax. And I think if he did come to Manchester United, I think that would be a good appointment. Whether I think he'll leave Ajax, I don't know. I think he's going to stay at Ajax, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I don't see why he'd leave Ajax, if I'm totally honest.
Jay, the thing is, Man United are a massive club, and there's a lot there for him that needs to be sorted. And I think someone like Edwin van der Sar that's played for the club, understands the club, understands what the fans maybe potentially want as well. I think Ed Woodward's always only worried about himself. And that's one of the reasons there's been so much rage with Manchester United fans in the past.
Absolutely,
I think to be honest, if you did get him in, great. Do I think he'd stay over Ajax rather than go Man United? No, I think this is a big opportunity for Edwin van der Sar to come in and actually lay a statement and try and put things in the right direction. Obviously, you've got Darren Fletcher there already as well now, haven't you? That's involved in the back end staff. So
there's a lot technical director now, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a lot of players that have played for the club coming in and potentially, trying to foresee and push it into the right direction. But Matt's with us as well. Matt Coogan, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I mean, big up to the Chelsea fans yesterday. I know it weren't all Chelsea fans, some West Ham, some Tottenham, just Londoners overall yesterday. So big up to them. It was needed. The European Super League was never going to happen. I mean, the Florentino Perez interview was like something of Big Brother, like when they get evicted. And Ed Woodward, am I glad he's gone? Yes, but the bigger picture is still the Glazers, and apparently they're asking for $4 billion, and unless Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk want to hand us that money.
What about Conor McGregor, mate? I heard Conor McGregor's listed.
I wouldn't mind if there was like a group with Conor McGregor, Rio Ferdinand, some of the legends who have money now, coming in and buying it. But I think it should be a 50+1 rule where the fans have 51% of the vote of whether it's the manager or what players come in and whatnot. But am I looking forward to the rest of the season? Based on games, but in the forefront, it's Glazers. I mean, there's protests at 3 p.m. Old Trafford, which I'm hopefully going to.
Is that to force the Glazers out, Matt? Is that what they're trying to do now?
Well, yeah. Hopefully, it's going to be big. I mean, we need more than the Chelsea sport that happened last night. I think 5,000 fans plus need to come. Even Manchester, even if you live in Manchester, just come and just support it. The more people, the merrier, really. But yeah, like I say, I didn't watch the Chelsea games today. Wasn't really important.
It missed
me. I mean, yeah. I mean, top 4 race will be exciting now for the last 6 games. I mean, Man United, we're practically top 4 now. It's about Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham. I think they'll fall off. Leicester. I'm not too sure. How do you feel about that? Do you think Chelsea will pip?
I just get frustrated when we waste opportunities like we did yesterday. Obviously, we could have gone 2 points or whatever above West Ham. We got West Ham on the weekend as well. So that would have opened the gap from us to them, along with Liverpool as well, providing Liverpool didn't win. Even if they drew over the weekend, you know, the gap would have been there. We would have also took third as well. Third would have been ours, you know. And all right, Leicester would have had a game in hand, but I agree. I think you will see Leicester slowly decline. I think Leicester will decline. And to be honest, I am still confident that we can get third. It's just that we need, and we have got some hard games coming up as well. But I just think we've got a different way about us now, especially under Tuchel. You know, like we're putting in good performances. We're putting in more better performances than we are not, if that makes sense, under him.
Yeah,
So
just
we had a better game yesterday. But,
just one favour. Can you beat Man City in the Premier League? That'd be very good. Good.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Are you trying to catch them up? Do you think you can win the league still?
No, if Man City lose tonight, it's probably, and we beat Leeds at the weekend with 5 points, then it gets
it's interesting, isn't it? It does, and there's still 5 or odd games left. You could you'd need Man City to drop off massively, which I don't see, but anything's possible. It's football, mate. It definitely is possible. But
Wait, Jan, can I quickly say something here?
Yeah.
Callum from Coppish just got racially abused and threatened on Twitter.
Yeah.
So just read the message. Absolutely disgusting. I don't know how we still have racism to this day. Like, we just got football back and then people just racially abusing him about his family and his wife. It's absolutely disgusting.
It is. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I'm obviously in a group with the terrorist lot anyway, and Callum sort of released it in, was made aware of it. I've already retweeted it and I spoke to him about it as well. But that guy, whoever you are, it has no life in my eyes. Is a prick. I'm going to say it straight up. People that can go out their way to try and emotionally affect people for no reason. You don't even know the individual that you're trying to actually talk to. Is disgusting. We don't condone any racism whatsoever on this platform, but I'm sure in any platform that I know anyway. But we don't condone it, and all of our, we're behind Callum. I hope he's all right. I know he's a strong lad anyway. Things like that ain't going to affect him too much, but at the end of the day, he didn't deserve that. And whoever that person is behind that troll, go and fucking look in the mirror, mate. Honestly, because you're a fucking disgrace. That's what
I think after all these protests are happening, there needs to be a massive protest against FIFA, against the FA for racism.
I was enough earlier. Like, this has opened up conversations about corrupt owners. That's why I'm all for these protests for, these clubs to get their corrupt owners out and don't really give a crap. We need to look into the corruption in UEFA. We need to look into the corruption in FIFA. This needs to be aired. Like, people need to speak about this as well. And of course, like, we need to really, really focus on the racism that's been plaguing football and the world, but even in football for generations since the beginning of time. And it just needs to stop because we're in 2021 now. For goodness sake, how can you still be ignorant?
You made a good point as well. Like yesterday, as you said, it was a massive day for like football in general. Yesterday will probably go down in history because the protest yesterday that happened has now encouraged other fan bases to actually do something about everything. Yeah. And now, hopefully, in the future, when other issues like racism, racism's never been stopped. So it's been an issue which has gone on for years and years. And fans do need to get together and do something about it. Whether if that's boycotting games, if that's players not playing, we've got to do something about it because Glenn Kamara got banned 3 games for what? For reacting to racist abuse. What do you expect him to do? It's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly. I agree. Will, what was your thoughts on the game, mate? Yesterday, I know it was a shit game, but
yeah, it was one of the most boring games I've ever watched. If I'm being honest, we were really average, really, really poor. I wouldn't have given anyone over a 6. I think everyone was just around the same level. No standouts whatsoever. And to be fair, I think the performance in general was just overshadowed by, the protests and the whole Super League getting cancelled, etc. So it is what it is. We missed a chance to catch up on West Ham and Leicester, but we'll have to beat them at the weekend, I guess, which I think we will.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham are in form at the moment, and they're playing very well at
I
home.
think Lingard's injured as well. I think Dawson's suspended. I think Rice is out, so I think they'll be weakened.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that is going to be definitely a big game for Chelsea over the weekend. Let's quickly talk about that actually while we're at it. Lambs, how confident are you Chelsea beating West Ham over the weekend?
I think if the players that I want to see come back into the squad start, we might be okay, because West Ham are not the kind of team like Brighton, like a lot of these teams lower in the table, where they play with such quite a low block, and that kind of setup always tends to cause us problems, especially with this back three system that Tuchel likes to play in. But West Ham aren't actually going to play us, because that's the kind of football that they like to play. So they're going to attack us, which will suit us fine, because we probably will have possession of the ball. We might be able to catch their defense out a little bit as well. So I think this might suit us a lot better than, say, playing at Brighton or one of these other low league teams. So I think, I think we'll be okay. To be fair, I think Werner will start. He probably won't score, but his pace is something that we can use to catch him out. Worked well against City. I think it would work well against West Ham as well. So yeah, I think we'll be okay.
Do you know what? I'm going to criticise Tuchel on one thing yesterday, and praise him at the same time. I think resting Kante was good, because I think we need him in that West Ham game. I would have played Billy Gilmore yesterday. I think it's a good game to play him, because Mount next to Jorginho in a 6, he just isn't a 6. Yeah, he's just not a 6, and it's not necessarily Mount's fault, but he's just not a 6. So play Gilmore. It's a game where, it's even if he drops a bad performance, there won't be as much pressure on him due to the whole Super League protests, And if he plays bad, he couldn't have played much worse than how Mount played.
We weren't great yesterday. Let's be serious. But I actually think that game was suited for Billy Gilmore yesterday, and it would have probably helped Jorginho as well a bit more, because
an actual 6 playing their position.
Yeah, I think when Jorginho got the ball, he was very isolated. Mason Mount wasn't making runs; he was just standing still. He wasn't like doing, running towards him, doing them sort of like 1-2 passes, and there was none of that. It was just like we just struggled to get the ball up the pitch. We couldn't even make 2 passes. And it's not Mason Mount's fault. You're right. I just think Mason Mount's just not a 6, and I think he wasn't even sure, because every time he was getting the ball, he was like always looking to go backwards, sideways, and was never looking forwards, and he was never making runs in the right positions. Continuously moving to try and drag players here and there. It was just very easy to defend against, and I don't want to see that over the weekend.
We missed Chilwell yesterday as well. We did miss Chilwell. I can't believe I'm saying that, but we did miss Chilwell.
I mean, we know what Alonso is, right? So
that's now is something else, man. I can't even.
Do you guys think you'll beat Leicester in the FA Cup final? Then are you guys confident?
Yeah, I'm 100%. That is the game I'm most confident about this season. Brendan Rodgers does not
Leicester
like
been quite good
though. In English football, he doesn't like it. He can't get over the final hurdle. Tuchel has got over the final hurdle in France, in Germany. I'm 100% confident. Yeah. I'm 100% confident
he has a good track record, doesn't he?
Yeah, and under Tuchel, these players have turned up in big games so far.
Yeah, so, that's good. You guys beat City, didn't you, in the semi-finals? So,
yeah, we beat Liverpool at Anfield. We've beaten Atletico twice. So I'm confident.
Yeah, you guys could go all the way in the Champions League as well. Who knows?
Yeah, potentially. It is on the cards for us to do. We've got to win. I think we should win a trophy. I think we owe Leicester one anyway. To be honest, Hassan, I haven't read your app, so let's read your app. Is it important? Let's have a look. JB, what do you think about Chelsea against West Ham? Do you think West Ham will do us?
I think it depends if Lingard's starting, to be honest, because I know he's been in really good form recently. But then, like against Newcastle, they were quite poor. I was quite surprised by that result, to be honest. I really did expect West Ham to beat Newcastle, and I do think I think Chelsea will win it, to be honest. I think because they'll really want to cement that top 4 place. and obviously Declan Rice is injured, so he won't be playing. It won't be easy, but it's at the London Stadium, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, no, I think I think it could be like a 2-1 to Chelsea, I reckon. Yeah. I mean
2-1 to Chelsea.
Could be 2-1 Chelsea, yeah.
Could I ask you guys a
Will.
question? Could I ask you guys a question quickly?
Go
Would you,
Mm.
in my opinion, I would start Hudson-Odoi against West Ham in his actual position, because I feel like if you look at Man City, Ziyech and Werner did play well, but you know they've not performed like that every week in, week out.
Yeah.
If you look at Hudson-Odoi when he's played in left wing and even in right wing, his creative statistics are really, really good, and on the eye he's been really good. Maybe not, his goals and assists haven't been up there, but that's not his fault. If he plays a lovely through ball and then someone passes it to someone else, that's not his fault. It's not going to count on a stat sheet.
Yeah.
So I would play him in his actual. I would actually give him a chance against West Ham. In left wing.
I think he should have played yesterday, Will. I don't know about you. I just thought Reece James.
Again, it was a perfect game to play him in. Low pressure.
Yeah.
You know, give him a chance. See if he can deliver.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's important. I think Cho in certain individual games works better than Reece James, and yesterday was one of them games. I think West Ham maybe potentially again. We see him play recently off there, and we looked probably at one of our best games. The way we were moving the ball when he was.
We have another option going forward.
We have another option going forward, exactly. So
we should use it more often. You're right.
Yeah, he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't decide to use it more often. But
yeah.
Will, what's your thoughts on the game, mate? Are you confident we'll do him or situation?
I think it'll be a tight game, but I think we'll win. I don't see us losing this game. I see us turning up. I think the players will know the importance of it. Yeah. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt yesterday because of what happened, and they weren't necessarily up for it. So they've got to deliver at the weekend. It's as simple as that. They've got to deliver.
I hear you. Hassan's there as well. Hassan, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been about 48 hours, isn't it? I think everyone's more focused on what was happened over the 48 rather than the result. I think we got away with it because if it was a different week, we would have been criticising players.
Yeah. No, I agree. What was your thoughts on the game, mate? I know it was a shit game yesterday, but what was your thoughts on that? And do you think we can beat West Ham as well at the weekend?
It was a dead game. That's all I can say. There's nothing good about it besides defensively. We were lucky. And West Ham, well, we're going to have to turn up for that, innit?
Yeah, we have to.
It's as simple as that. If we don't turn up, we lost top 4. Because if you look at our last 4 fixtures, we're bound to drop points.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. I agree. It's a must-win game, and I just feel like we could have took the pressure off ourselves if we did if we did just win that game. 2 points ahead of them as well, and then going into that game, it would have, and beating them would have put us 5 points. We'd have gone third as well, providing Leicester would have lost their game in hand. But Ads is back. Ads, are you home now? Yeah, are you feeling better?
Yeah, man, I'm home right now. Yeah.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Matt, West Ham, Chelsea. Obviously, you're a United fan. What do you think, mate?
I personally think West Ham will put up a low block. They've done similar against us, but then again, they've got nothing to lose. It's all on Chelsea, really, the pressure.
Yeah.
So they could also pressure them. I'm not sure if Lingard's fit for the game. I know he went off against Newcastle. Don't know if that's muscle cramp.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've not got Dawson either for this game. I know he's not pivotal, but I mean he's still a player they play at the back. I'd say either draw or Chelsea win.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's either going to be a really boring game or it's going to be an entertaining game.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Fair enough. Indiana, we're going to talk about. I know you think West Ham are going to beat us, but there's something I want to talk to you about actually as well.
What have I done?
No, Man United. I was talking to Matt about it earlier. Obviously, Ed Woodward's he's gone. He's resigned anyway, but he won't be leaving until the end of 2021. There's talks about Van der Sar potentially coming in and taking his place. And there's a protest tonight, obviously trying to force the Glazers out as well, which I think, like what Matt said, you're going to need at least a good 5,000 people down there to try and impose yourselves and be heard. What are your thoughts on the Van der Sar comments? Is he someone that you would be happy to come in?
I'd love him to come in. I just don't know whether it's possible. I think the thing is it's a natural choice, and that's why it's been all over the media. I don't think there are actually any talks going on. I'd be very surprised if there was. He does a top job at Ajax, and also nothing changes as long as the Glazers are there. Nothing really changes. Let's be honest. We might be a little bit better in the market. We might be able to attract players easier. We might be able to relate to them in terms of football, opposed to a banker talking to a player and trying to attract them to the club. But I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if it happened. But it is what it is. It is what it is with that.
Who do you want? Who is there anyone in mind that you'd like to come?
I'd take Van der Sar.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would want Van der Sar because I think you've got a lot of ex-players there in roles, and this is a guy who not only loves the club, done really well at the club, a champion at the club. He's proven at Ajax, so we've actually got a proven guy coming in, and I think because he loves the club that much and he's that good at what he does. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't cut it, he would cut him. I honestly think he'd be that type of guy. I hope he would be anyway, because I think that's what we need. Because it's not going to be from the owners, is it?
No.
In terms of protest, though, Jem, I don't know how long this energy for protest is going to go on. I think as football fans, there's actually more we could do. I think the Man United Leeds and Man United Liverpool games, two of the biggest rivalries for Manchester United, should be both fan bases before the game protesting together for the same thing.
And
I think that makes history. I think that's a big talking point. You bring in, especially the Man United Liverpool game, you bring the two biggest rivals in English football, the two biggest clubs in English football together protesting for the same thing outside Old Trafford. You're not going to get any bigger than that. And that's the sort of thing that should happen. That's the sort of thing that gains traction.
I was just going to say, what do you guys think of the 4 billion price tag? Because that's what apparently was United's been set up in terms of the sale.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's not a payment where you just do a quick bank transfer on your iPhone. Do you know what I mean? It can be worked out in a different way. What about all the debt they're in? What about the fact that the Glazers are in debt and they haven't paid a penny of it? They've only paid the interest off, which is why they wanted the Super League. So to them, it's weighing it up. If someone comes in with an offer which is close, or maybe they can make some sort of installments, a yearly payment, then it could be done. But I'll be very surprised if the Glazers leave. It's still a cash cow for them. It's still good money for them. They haven't been to the club for 2 years. It tells you where they are with it. They're not bothered.
They've lost money though in the market.
United are too big to sell, man. They're too big to sell. The fan base and everything.
It's the most attractive club in England. It's the most attractive club in England for a buyer. You have like the owner of like Facebook or Amazon or anyone like that, right? Who wanted to come in and buy. They'd be buying Manchester United. It's the biggest commercial asset in terms of a football club in the country. That's a fact. There's no getting near it. Kai, you can talk to me about Forbes, whatever. It's a fact. It's the biggest commercial asset you could have. And if you want to win whilst doing that, this is where the Glazers have gone wrong. Is that they've only spent money when we've been outside the top four, rather than making it sustainable and actually challenging for leagues. They wouldn't have had to spend as much money. They wouldn't have had to do so. They've actually wasted a lot of their own money just by being fucking idiots. That's the problem. But I think in terms of this ESL, everyone's to blame. Everyone's to blame. Every owner, every single one. Chelsea fans will say that Roman was the first to say, right, let's get out. But he also ordered your board to go into it. So, everyone is to blame. But Man United board and owners a bit more, because obviously Woodward was an architect in this, and the Glazers wanted to bring it forward, wanted to make it happen quicker. And we know why Barcelona and Real Madrid wanted to make it happen. UEFA are changing up their plan, hopefully, which would be good, because I don't think that... We want a Champions League full of champions.
Exactly.
We don't want a Champions League full of people that have been champions. Or could potentially be champions one day. Like, get there on merit, earn it. Do it off the back of the last season. That's what we want to see, I think, with Champions League football.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be great. You know, next season, imagine Leicester and West Ham in there, Chelsea in the Europa. You know, everyone where they should be.
You had to get there. You had to get there in there.
Oh, I can't wait. Listen, West Ham shouldn't be beating Chelsea, okay? They shouldn't be beating Chelsea. But if they do, and Jesse Lingard scores, oh, I'm going to be on streams, trust me. I'll be on streams.
Lingard's injured, though, isn't he? From what I understand.
Don't worry about Lingard, he'll be all right.
Yeah, Lingard.
We don't know how much serious injury it is, though. But yeah, Ad's been really quiet.
Yeah,
I don't think he's been ruled out, has he? When do you play? Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday 5:30. Yeah.
Rice should be back as well, no?
Lingardinho is going to be the normal Lingard at Man United on Saturday. Let's be serious. He ain't doing shit. So this is
hat-trick and come.
What, turning up in big games?
Well,
that Lingard, is that the one you're talking about? Yeah?
Score against the top. Has he scored against the top 6 yet?
How many top 6 teams have they played?
Arsenal.
Man United, isn't it?
Arsenal.
No, yeah, Man United. So we couldn't play in that one.
Who else did they play?
Tottenham, was it? Tottenham.
They scored against them.
Oh, yeah.
They're not top 6.
Another mid-table club.
Traditional.
Listen, you can keep Tino Werner. Do you know what I mean? Keep him.
I mean, he scored 9 goals in that.
How are you getting on, mate?
Moyes has played down injury worries over Jesse Lingard.
Yeah. Ads, how are you getting on anyway? Tell us.
Yeah, man, I'm
glad since you've been out, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so a lot of people are still asking what's going on. I had surgery on my liver. And obviously it was a biopsy. I've had it done before. But except this time they also did an endoscopy, which means they put a tube down your throat and have to scope your bowel as well. But obviously you get knocked out when you do it. It's just procedure. You have to have it done. But obviously I woke up yesterday, and I'm not going to go into detail. It was pretty raw, to be honest with you. But obviously my mum was there, and it was just it wasn't better or worse than last time. It's just I just know what happens, and it happened. So honestly, I'm not too bothered. But I spoke to Jem on the phone yesterday, whilst I was in bed, and yeah, man, I went home yesterday night, and I haven't really done much since, other than just eat. I was told not to eat for the past 2 days, so it was very hard for me because I eat a lot, so I'm just used to eating a lot. But yeah, man, I've definitely eaten a lot today, and especially the news that Woodward's gone. Well, pretty much it's kind of ghosting at the moment. Was a great feeling yesterday. I literally come out of surgery and I heard the news, and it was good. And it's really good that he's gone. But like Indiana said, there's not going to be a major change with the Glazers in charge. So for me, I'm not getting too gassed.
Yeah, I hear that, bro. I hear that. And it's good to see you well so quickly as well, my man. It's good to see. Blue Ice is in the house as well. Blue Ice is back. What are you saying, mate? You all right?
Very well. I'm very well, thanks. How you guys doing?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. What have you what have you thought of everything that's been going on the last 3 days of madness?
Ah, man, it was a threat to football, I must say. But the reality is, when it comes to finance and dollars and money, you can only think one thing, and yeah. The owners almost let us down, but I just want to tip my hat to the fans that went out there to protest. I want to say kudos. Thank you very much. We can finally start talking about football, start watching the game. You could even tell in the game yesterday against Brighton, it took like there was something missing. Like I don't know if it affected the entire framework of the game, despite the fact that we played like shit. But yeah, it's crazy just to know the money figures behind football and what it can create in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. To talk about Brighton, I'm not sure if you folks have talked about the game. Tuchel got it all wrong. We gotta call a spade a spade. I think he got it all wrong. I respect the fact that he experimented with Mason Mount in the pivot, but I think that should have been with Conte, so that Mason Mount can at least forge forward like he always does. Playing in that pivot with Jorginho was close to suicidal. I'm sorry to say that. I'm not sure what's going on with Kai and Ziyech, folks. Like, maybe I should throw the question out to you folks, guys. I'm not sure. One game they play like 100%. The next game they play like -0. Like, can someone please explain what's going on? Like, I'm not even sure about West Ham. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was Ziyech. He's just He's struggling against in the Premier League, just in general. That physicality, the fact that they don't give you time on the ball, they shut you down. I don't think so much of Havertz. I think he'll be all right. I just think we were all poor yesterday. Mason Mount didn't work next to Jorginho. He just didn't look comfortable.
Exactly.
And there was a couple of decisions that Tuchel, I think, got wrong yesterday. I think he could have done different, if that makes sense. But
yeah,
we move on to the West Ham game, and we have to go with a Kante. I get why Kante was rested. Like
exactly.
The West Ham game is more important for sure.
Yeah, I guess he had to. I guess Tuchel had to refresh the squad, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he has to. He has to refresh, and not just that. We've got Real Madrid next week, so West Ham Saturday, Real Madrid Tuesday. You're going to want N'Golo Kante in there. Ideally, Thiago Silva as well. I really would like Thiago Silva back in the back three as well.
That's true.
That's true. On Tuesday, don't you, against Real Madrid?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Kepa? What are your thoughts on Kepa? I thought he was okay.
He was the best one in the game, I think.
He did have
absolutely.
He wasn't pressured as that much. He done what he had to do in terms of saves, like what Mendy does, really. To be honest, they hit the post. To be fair to him, didn't they, Brighton as well? So, he's doing it and he's doing a job. And maybe Chelsea are being clever here and thinking, look, while we can keep playing him and we're not conceding, we might be able to gain a bit of market value on him, so that coming into the summer, if we are looking to sell him, people may look to buy him, because let's be serious. Last season he was shocking. He was massively. So
that's right. It was absolutely shocking.
One thing that reminds me of is Donny van de Beek. I know he's not had much game time at Man United, but they've just both come from the Dutch league, and although it's similar climates, it's still a huge step. So I reckon next year will be the year of Ziyech and van de Beek for both respective clubs.
Well, they're only going to get next season. That's one thing with Chelsea. If they do not turn up next season, Chelsea are not. I think we're very aggressive like that. If you're not adding or contributing, then they're gone. We won't hold them around. We will not have them just dilly-dallying along. And we can't afford to. We need to get back up to the top. We want to be winning things. So
the goalkeeper. Do you get a new goalkeeper this year? Donnarumma's on the cards, or do you stay away from it?
I don't think we need a goalie, really, in my honest opinion. I think Mendy's doing all right. It's not the first target for me. I think we need to sort out maybe a DM and maybe even a striker if Werner can't start scoring, which you don't.
Yeah, but who would you sell though? You need Kovacic and Kante. You need them. Simple as.
Jorginho, if someone wants to buy him and we can get someone in that's a replacement that's better than him, that can, this can distribute and contribute to goals, then why not? Maybe, but you can still have him as a team player.
Well, you got
yeah.
I'm not sure about. Pulisic. I'm not sure. Right. Yeah, he is all right, but I don't know. He's always falling, man. I'm not sure what it is. He's always falling to the ground. Yeah, like he gets bullied a lot, man.
it's just the way he plays though, Blue Ice, because he's so direct with the ball. He likes dribbling with it. Players that do that always attract players more so. So, you know, a lot of the times, like, you know what, Hazard used to do it, but he used to do it very well.
That's true.
He always
That's true.
Be on the floor. He always used to be on the floor. He was the most fouled player in the Premier League throughout seasons. And that's the same sort of thing with Pulisic. People will you have to get in his face quickly as possible. You don't want to turn in at you, face you, and trying to do you, because he will do you usually.
Yeah, but Hazard, Jem, just to add to your point, Hazard, yes, he was always on the floor, but he never got bullied. I'm not sure if there's a difference there, because I find Pulisic, man, like, anyways, I think we could get a lot more free kicks and set pieces from Pulisic falling around the 18-yard box, but I just find he's always on the ground, man. Like, it'd be nice to see him.
We have Cho for that. Like, Cho likes to run in and cut in on players like that. So I think I'd rather for this game, I think, against West Ham. He'd be very potent.
I think Cho's long term, for sure.
I think Cho gives us like, he's a natural. I know people go, "Oh, I don't like him out there." Why do they not like him out there? He hogs the wing. He's direct.
Underrated.
He takes the player on. He can cross. You know, like, why would you not?
The problem, he has no. The problem. That's true. Yeah. I say the problem with Cho is, I think you probably heard it over and over and over again, is end product. Like, he does everything, like you said. He hugs the line. He's direct. He can dribble. But I don't know how many assists Cho has. One, and I'm not sure. We don't judge him by goals, but I'm not even sure how many goals he's had this season.
Yeah, it's not. He doesn't. And you're right. One thing that lets Cho down is the final third. You know, he can create goals, but he's just not. He just doesn't score enough, does he? And that's the thing he needs to work on. You know, consistently. He's not like a he's not like a Sancho who contributes to goals, scores goals. You know what I mean? If he could do that, then we wouldn't need someone like Sancho. I do think we need another winger. I don't think the wingers we've got are enough as well.
I think what you need to do. I think is, I think if you want to keep Pulisic and Cho, you need to bring in a winger that's older than Cho, better than him, and then he'll feed off of that winger, and then he'll be your man in later stages of his Chelsea career. Just like Mason Greenwood, we have Cavani in right now as our number 9. Greenwood's learning off him, getting better striking ability, and he's building and contributing onto that when they're next to each other. Same with Rashford. You know, how many times have we seen Rashford playing the number 9? He's done a job there, but now we know that his home role is on the wing. And for me, if Rashford does his thing for the next few years, I think he'll be up there with people like Hazard.
Yeah.
If he can stay fit as well. That's
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. If he can stay fit and we can keep him fit, and this is the problem with him though, isn't it? He's always blimmin' injured, and if he wasn't, and if he could just have a decent run of form, then we wouldn't be sitting here moaning about him. And when we moan about it because he's always injured. It's not about how he plays sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just about he's never consistent. Like, he's never consistent with his form. And that's a problem when you're a team like Chelsea, because you're fighting on all front levels. 4 competitions every season. You need your players to be available mostly more than anything. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It is what it is. But we've done nearly an hour and a half, people. It's 4:00 here. I hope you guys have had a good had a bit of fun with us going through the Chelsea player ratings, even though it was boring as hell. And obviously Lambs has told us about her what happened yesterday when she was at Stamford Bridge as well, which was interesting. So people, please make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to GNA TV. We are getting to that 1K mark, which we can't wait for. Please keep supporting. Lambs has got the ladies show coming on Friday. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I haven't thought about it yet, but we've got so many shows that we still need to catch up on that we haven't done in a while. The underrated show, the what if show. So there's a lot of things that are in the pipeline with us to maybe put together. But yeah, guys, like I said, appreciate you all coming on. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Peace.
Thank you. Peace.
It's like it's free time when it's free time.